Almost every beginner trader knows the number 70 and the number 30. Buy here, sell there, simple, right? Except that exact version of this indicator is what gets people destroyed inside a strong trend. The traders who actually profit from this tool are reading something almost nobody else even knows exists on the same chart. By the end of this video, you'll be one of them. Welcome back to From Zero to Funded in 30 Days. This is day 10. Today we're covering RSI keys, the Relative Strength Index. Everybody's heard of overbought and oversold. Almost nobody's been taught how it actually fails beginners or what hidden divergence is, which is honestly the most underrated concept in this entire indicator. This lesson runs a little longer than usual because there's genuinely a lot of nuance most beginner content skips entirely. Let's get into it right now. Quick recap. Days 1 through 3 gave you the price action foundation, trends, candlesticks, support, and resistance. Days 4 through 6 added timeframes, market structure, and volume. Day 7 set the rules for every indicator we use. Confirm, never replace, and know whether you're looking at a leading or lagging tool. Days 8 and 9 gave you moving averages and VWAP. Both trend following, both lagging by design, both plotted directly on the price chart. Today's RSI is completely different. It's our first leading indicator in this course, and that one distinction changes everything about how carefully you need to treat its signals. If you haven't watched day 7 yet, the leading versus lagging conversation we had there is genuinely the lens this entire lesson gets filtered through, so it's worth going back to first. Everything from here forward in this course assumes you remember that distinction cold, because it comes up again and again as we keep adding new tools. Let's get clear on what RSI actually is. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index, a momentum oscillator that measures the speed and size of recent price changes on a scale from 0 to 100. Here's how it works conceptually. It compares the average size of recent up moves to the average size of recent down moves, typically looking back over the last 14 periods. When buyers have been dominant and pushing price up aggressively, RSI rises toward 100. When sellers have been dominant, RSI falls towards 0. Notice this is fundamentally different from the moving averages and VWAP we covered on days 8 and 9. Those plot directly on the price chart, sitting right on top of the candles. RSI lives in its own separate panel below the price, oscillating in a completely different way, measuring momentum rather than price level itself. This distinction matters more than it sounds like it should. Price level tells you where you are, momentum tells you how hard you're getting there. And those are genuinely two different pieces of information that can disagree with each other, which is exactly what we'll get into with divergence later in this lesson. You don't need to memorize the exact formula behind RSI to use it well. What matters far more is understanding what it's fundamentally trying to capture. Because that understanding is what tells you when to trust a reading and when to be skeptical of one. This is what almost every beginner learns first, and it's not wrong, it's just dangerously incomplete. When RSI climbs above 70, that's considered overbought. Price has risen fast and far in a short window, and it's often interpreted as due for a pullback. When RSI drops below 30, that's oversold. Price has fallen fast and far, often interpreted as due for a bounce. Here's the part beginners skip past. Overbought and oversold are not automatic sell and buy signals. They simply mean momentum has been strong in one direction recently. In a genuinely strong trend, RSI can sit above 70 or below 30 for a very long time. We're going to spend the next section on exactly why that distinction matters so much. Because this is where a huge number of beginner accounts quietly bleed out. Some traders use slightly different thresholds, like 80 and 20 for an even more extreme reading. But 70 and 30 remain the standard almost everyone defaults to, and that's what we'll use throughout this lesson. Different markets can also behave slightly differently. A fast-moving instrument like NQ can spend more time at extreme readings than a slower, less volatile one, which is worth keeping in mind as you get a feel for whatever specific market you're trading most. Remember day 7? We split indicators into leading and lagging. Moving averages and VWAP, which we just covered, are both lagging. They confirm what's already happened. RSI is a leading indicator. It tries to signal a potential shift before price fully commits to it. That earlier warning sounds amazing, but it comes at a real cost. More false signals, more noise, more situations where RSI says one thing and price keeps doing the opposite for much longer than expected. This is exactly why RSI needs more confirmation than a moving average does. Never take an RSI signal in isolation. Always pair it with the price action skills you already have from days 1 through 9. Treat RS like an early warning system, not a verdict. It's telling you to pay closer attention, not telling you exactly what's about to happen. Think of it the way a smoke detector works. It doesn't tell you there's definitely a fire, it tells you something worth checking is happening. And you still have to go look for yourself before you react. The traders who get hurt by RSI aren't the ones using it. They're the ones treating an early warning system like it was a guarantee. Here's the mistake that has cost beginners more money than almost anything else in this course. In a genuinely strong trend, RSI can become overbought and simply stay there. Sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks. If you're selling every single time RSI crosses above 70, you are fighting one of the strongest trends in the market over and over, getting stopped out repeatedly while the trend just keeps going. This connects directly back to day 1. Always check the trend first. In a strong uptrend, overbought readings are often a sign of strength, not weakness. It means buyers are aggressively in control, not that a reversal is imminent. The real skill isn't memorizing 70 and 30, it's knowing when those numbers actually mean something and when they're just noise inside a powerful trend that has every right to keep running. I've seen traders take 5 or 6 losing trades in a single strong trending session, every one of them fading an overbought reading, convinced the next one had to be the top. It almost never is, and that single bad habit alone has ended more accounts than any other RSI mistake I can think of. If you only take one rule away from this entire video, make it this one. Overbought in a strong trend is not your cue to sell, it's your cue to stay patient and keep looking for pullback entries in the direction of that trend instead. Divergence is where RSI starts becoming genuinely useful. Divergence happens when price and RSI disagree with each other, and that disagreement often warns of a reversal. Bearish divergence. Price makes a higher high, but RSI makes a lower high at the same time. Price is going up, but the momentum behind it is actually fading. A warning sign the uptrend may be running out of steam. Bullish divergence. Price makes a lower low, but RSI makes a higher low. Price is going down, but the selling momentum is weakening. A warning sign, the downtrend may be losing strength. This should sound familiar. It's the same underlying idea as CHOCH from day 5, just measured through momentum instead of price structure. Both are early clues that the current move might be losing its grip, even while price is still technically making new extremes. The intuition behind divergence is actually pretty simple once it clicks. Each new high or low should ideally come with at least as much momentum as the last one. When that momentum starts shrinking, even while price keeps pushing further, something underneath the surface is changing before it's obvious on the price chart itself. And that early notice is exactly what makes divergence worth learning to spot. Here's a simple step-by-step process for spotting divergence on your own charts, something you can practice today. Step 1. Find 2 clear, obvious swing highs or swing lows on price. Not tiny, insignificant wiggles, but real, visible turning points that you'd circle without hesitation if someone asked you to point them out. Step 2. Draw a line connecting those 2 points on price and notice whether it's rising or falling. Step 3. Look at RSI at those exact same 2 points in time and draw the same kind of line connecting them on the oscillator. Step 4. Compare the 2 lines. If they're sloping in the same direction, there's no divergence. Price and momentum agree and the trend is healthy. If they're sloping in opposite directions, that's divergence. And now you check whether it's regular or hidden based on the trend context we just covered. This sounds like a lot of steps, but with practice, it becomes something you can spot almost instantly just by glancing between the price panel and the RSI panel underneath it. Most charting platforms, including TradingView, even let you draw trend lines directly on the RSI panel itself, which makes this comparison even easier once you know to look for it. Here's the payoff I teased at the start of this video: hidden divergence. It's the opposite of regular divergence in one critical way. It warns of trend continuation, not reversal. It actually signals strong underlying buying pressure setting up for the trend to continue. Hidden bearish divergence is the mirror image inside a downtrend. It actually signals strong underlying buying pressure setting up for the trend to continue. Hidden bearish divergence is the mirror image inside a downtrend. Price makes a lower high, RSI makes a higher high, signaling the downtrend is likely to continue. Almost nobody trades hidden divergence, simply because almost nobody's ever been taught it exists. You now know something most retail traders never will, and that asymmetry, knowing a real usable signal that almost nobody else is even looking for, is exactly the kind of edge that actually compounds over a trading career. Here's a memory trick that helps separate the two. Regular divergence happens at the end of a trend and warns you it might reverse. Hidden divergence happens in the middle of a trend, usually during a pullback, and warns you the trend probably isn't done yet. Get those two timings straight in your head, and you'll rarely confuse which one you're looking at. I genuinely encourage you to bookmark this section and rewatch it once or twice, because hidden divergence is the one concept in today's lesson that takes the longest to click visually, even though the underlying logic is fairly simple once it does. Here's a simpler RSI rule that beginners overlook because it's not as exciting as divergence, where RSI sits relative to the 50 center line tells you the broader momentum regime. When RSI consistently holds above 50, that's a bullish momentum environment, favor longs. When it consistently holds below 50, that's bearish, favor shorts. And when RSI just chops back and forth around 50 with no clear direction, that's usually a sign you're in consolidation, exactly the condition we warned about all the way back on day one. This one rule alone can save you from a lot of bad trades. It's a fast, at-a-glance gut check before you even look at overbought, oversold, or divergence. And it takes about 2 seconds to check on any chart you pull up. Some traders treat the 50 line on RSI almost like the 200 moving average from day 8. A simple, almost universally respected dividing line between bullish and bearish territory, just measured through momentum instead of price. This is where everything we've built over 10 days comes together. Start top down on the daily from day 4. Identify the trend from day 1. Confirm with a BOS and watch for CHOCH from day 5. Find your key level from day 3. Check VWAP and your EMA bias from days 8 and 9. Now check RSI from today. Is there divergence, and which side of 50 is it holding? Wait for the candlestick confirmation from day 2 and confirm with rising volume from day 6. With all 8 of these layers agreeing, you're looking at a genuinely exceptional setup, built one careful layer at a time, exactly the way this entire course has been designed. None of these tools alone makes you a profitable trader. It's the discipline of stacking them together. Every single time, that actually does. 10 days ago, you couldn't have told me what any of these words meant. Today, you have an entire framework most retail traders will never bother to build for themselves. And we're not even halfway through this course yet. Every day from here forward adds one more layer to a system that's already more thorough than what the vast majority of people ever take the time to learn. A few common mistakes with RSI before we wrap up, so you can avoid every single one of them going forward. Don't sell every overbought reading or buy every oversold reading. Fatal in strong trends, as we covered. Don't trade RSI signals with no price context. Always check the day one trend first. Don't confuse regular divergence with hidden divergence. One warns of reversal, the other of continuation, and mixing them up means trading in the completely wrong direction at exactly the wrong time. And don't read RSI on the wrong time frame. RSI on the 1-minute chart is extremely noisy, so anchor your reading to whatever primary time frame you settled on back in day 4. A clean RSI signal on your main time frame is worth far more than a dozen flickering signals on something faster. One more worth mentioning: don't force divergence onto a chart that doesn't actually have it. When you're hunting for a pattern hard enough, your brain will sometimes convince you it's there, even when the highs and lows don't genuinely line up the way they need to. If you have to squint and stretch to make it fit, it probably isn't real divergence. Walk away and wait for a cleaner example instead. Patience in waiting for the obvious setups will outperform forcing the ambiguous ones. Let's recap. RSI measures momentum on a 0 to 100 scale. Overbought and oversold are not automatic signals. Always check the trend first. RSI is a leading indicator, so it needs more confirmation than a lagging tool. Regular divergence warns of reversal. Hidden divergence, the signal almost nobody reads, warns of continuation. And the 50 center line gives you a fast momentum regime check. Remember that opening line about the traders reading something almost nobody else even knows exists on the same chart? That's hidden divergence. You now have it in your toolkit, and most retail traders trading right next to you in the same market still don't. That gap in knowledge, multiplied across hundreds of trades, is genuinely the kind of thing that separates traders who plateau from traders who keep improving year after year. Today's lesson asked more of you than most, and that's exactly why it's worth the extra effort to fully absorb. Your homework today: open TradingView, add RSI to any chart, find one overbought reading sitting inside a strong trend, one regular divergence example, and try to spot one hidden divergence example too. Check which side of 50 RSI is holding while you're at it. This isn't a 5-minute exercise. Give yourself real time to scroll through multiple charts and multiple time frames. Screenshot what you find. Write a sentence about what you noticed and drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I'll give you personal feedback. Day 11 is fair value gaps, an intro to price imbalance, where price often returns before continuing its move. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you in day 11.